Good morning, afternoon, and evening, wherever you are, and welcome to another NerdTube Young Justice Phantoms review, Season 4, Episode 11. This one is Ready, Get, or Teg Ydaer. Because I figured out how to pronounce that backwards, I guess. I don't know. Sad story. I know you don't care, but I went to see Spider-Man Far From Home tonight, and the theater ran out, like the power went out or something like that, and so I only got about 30 minutes in the movie, and then they told us, "Oh, power out, we can't do the movie, sorry." And this was a big chain theater, so they gave us vouchers, so I'm not gonna be able to see it till this weekend. I'm so sad. Okay, anyway, on to the Young Justice review. I was a little bit happy when I got home and I got to see that there was a Young Justice waiting for me. It filled that void a little bit. This episode was interesting. We got a little more character development with the Sentinels, which is what Zatanna students are called, as well as we get the introduction of Dr. Fate. So let's get into it. Not the introduction, but Dr. Fate's kind of becoming more and more prominent in this role, or in this story. We start off with more history about Savage. I can't remember. He goes through so many different names in this. I don't even know. But more history on Savage and his grandson. Uh, Turning into tying into Doctor Fate, or the future of Doctor Fate, um, and eventually they go to the city of Babylon. We'll continue with that story in a little bit. We go over to Zatanna. She's recovering from the headbutt. Like basically, she was like almost a casualty of the fight between the two Chaos Lords. Yeah, she really didn't matter too much in that fight. So they're all kind of recovering, and Zatanna takes them to the Tower of Fate. And the Phantom Stranger and Jason Blood go off to do some more recruiting, so I figure we might hear more about that later in the next episode, maybe. So they go to the Tower of Fate, and Dr. Fate shows up and says, "Why have you brought these children here? Son of Zatara." So, Dr. Fate being Dr. Fate, really. So we get more of the story of Savage and the rise of Babylon and everything like that. Um, we get to see his son Nobu with the helmet of fate, but it's not the helmet of fate yet. It's just a warrior's helmet, I guess. Um, Not much to that part. I mean, this part is narrated by Nobu, who is the voice inside Doctor Fate's helmet, which is Vandal Savage's son, one of the many that turned into Nobu. Well, turned into the Doctor Fate helmet. So Zatanna and Doctor Fate have a kind of a sparring match verbally back and forth, and they're talking about these kids and they're not ready, and Zatanna thinks they are ready. So Doctor Fate puts them into trials, all three of them, 13, Mary, and I can't remember the third guy's name. But yeah, he basically throws them into each of them into a magical trial. It gets kind of weird from here. Not gonna lie. The first trial is 13, and she's talking to puppet versions of Blue Beetle, which is her boyfriend, Beast Boy, and I don't remember who the middle one was, but it was just so weird. Oh, Zatanna, the mentor. It's like, hi, there's puns in there. Like, she's like, who's pulling your strings? And they're like, we don't have strings, we're hand puppets. And it's like, you guys are a little on the nose with that one. Okay, bit creepy too. There's kind of some whispering in the background of her insecurities, and the puppets are talking, basically saying things that they want. Um, she's thinking, I guess, out of her insecurities, maybe. So we continue on to the Babylon, where you know, the Witch Boy shows back up, and Klairian, the Witch Boy, and he shows back up, and he wants more chaos or whatever. I don't know. He does his thing. So what does he do? He brings Starro from deep space into into Babylon, and then of course they're fighting off Starro minions, kind of like from the Suicide Squad movie that just recently came out. And I think they've shown this actually before in previous seasons of Young Justice. I don't remember what, but might have been season 3. I don't remember, but there's been allusions to Starro being in Babylon or whatever, with not involving like Naboo and the helmet and everything like that before. So that's some big epic battle, but Naboo dies, and then the Chaos Lords basically pull uh, the Chaos, or not. I'm sorry, not the Chaos Lords. The Order Lords, Agent Lords of Order. I don't know. They pull Naboo to, and they basically infuse his spirit in the helmet, and that's why the Naboo becomes, his soul is in the helmet. So whoever wears it basically in body, Naboo embodies him, which we all know this. So this has been the past 4 seasons of Young Justice. We know this about Dr. Fate. Um, so we find out that I don't know which part came next. Um, I'm guessing. I think it's the trials. My notes are a little vague on this part. The trials conclude with 13 kind of conquering her inner insecurities and doing that. There was a good bit with the guy, the doctor, the healer. I don't know what you want to call him. I can't remember. But he was going to be a doctor, and his family was supposedly disappointed in him. And they're saying that it goes against his faith. And he says, "Look, I want to use my powers to heal people and help people. That is a part of my faith. That is where I'm going. That is where I'm trying." The simulate, he's like drowning, and he basically overcomes that fear of being inadequate, in the eyes of his parents and his faith and everything like that. And I got about 6 minutes or almost 7 minutes in before I yawned. We should play a game, shots every time I yawn during these things, because I do these reviews late. Um, so, and then with Mary actually, Mary's the most interesting out of all these, because she has to take on her Shazam self, um, which the young Mary is, she faces young Mary, and young Mary's trying to get her to actually Shazam out and become, Shazam Mary. I don't remember what she's called. Mary, I think it's just Mary, actually. So, and she's using her, strength of Hercules, endurance of Atlas, and all these other, these kind of like stat boosts, but she's not actually changing into Shazam. And basically what happens is then the little girl, young Mary, turns into Mary Shazam, and then she basically starts beating the crap out of her, basically like why are you just doing all, a half measure? Another shot. Why are you doing a half measure? What? You can have all this power, but you're just using it. This. And I thought this part was really good. I really thought this was I mean, I felt a lot of the trials were good for these characters, but this one in particular was really good that I liked. Mary overcoming her fear of, like not wanting to be a hero, but like harnessing that power. And she basically, and then Billy Batson comes in, probably some, not an illusion, but like of something of Billy Batson inside her brain, inside her spirit. I don't know. Comes in and basically says, "Look, she's going to do this way. She's going to do it, and this is." This is not, how she's going to do things the way she's going to do things, and so, it's a really good part. I really enjoyed this part. We then get to a Zatara and Naboo chat inside the head of fate, the helmet of fate, where Zatara actually busts out some biblical. They do the white cross behind him, and Naboo has like the order symbol or whatever behind him, and I guess they're inferring that Zatara was a Christian, which is fine, but it's just like, it's a very odd, weird thing that they kind of just threw in the middle here. Not in the middle, towards the end, but yeah, it was just this really weird, and then he does the Father's prayer, Our Father, Our Father prayer, Our Father art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. He did that whole thing, and it just, I don't know, it was, it felt, I don't want to say it felt out of place, but I kind of did. So I have no problem with that. because I mean they were just talking about, I believe the one guy's faith was Hinduism. I believe. I'm sorry if that's wrong. I'm very sorry. I didn't write down what it was, but like so they're using that in there. But I mean they're using imagery and stuff like that for Zatara's one, and it's just like, okay, basically saying that you have to trust my daughter, believe in my daughter, you know. So so yeah, so in the end, it seems like Dr. Fate is coming, and Nabu is coming around to the fact that okay, trust Zatanna, trust the kids, the Sentinels. I like that name, by the way. Um, then all of a sudden, the Witch Boy, Klairian the Witch Boy, shows up at the door. And he's ringing the doorbell, and he's like, "Come on, Nabu, you old fart! I know you're in there." Blah 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 blah. And Child, which is the name of the what's it called? The other Chaos Lord shows up and basically tells her anchor to kill Klairian's anchor, and does. Snaps Kitty's neck. And so that means that Klairian, the Witch Boy, is now gone. At least he turns into the little Chaos Red Diamond and goes back into the sky. And so now we have Child. I don't know if this was their plan to replace Klairian and now it's going to be Child all the time, or if something's going to happen. But the look on Dr. Fate, like, okay, Zatanna's face and everybody else's face was good. Like, the episode ends there. And so the look on Zatara and all their faces is expected. But even Dr. Fate's like, holy shit. They're all like, what the hell are we, what? So Dr. Fate did refuse to fight the Chaos Lords as long as they were fighting each other. And well, now Klairian's gone, so yeah, Fate, you might want to get your shit together because you're up. Anyway, that ended the episode. They've got this weird obsession with this bus at the end of the end of this episode. I mean, the Magic School bus, I'm guessing. I don't know. In the end of this episode, we were in the school bus and we're like flying through like Doctor Strange dimensions, like in Doctor Strange 1, just flying through the multiverse. I don't know what the. I mean, they almost got hit by a bus in the first episode, and then the second episode, the bus comes out of nowhere in space, and when Ms. Martian, which we didn't see her sister, or a Manhunter at all in this episode, but they kind of flew through there. Like, I don't understand where this bus is coming from, and I'm sure it might come into play, or if it's just like the writers just being like, we like buses, yay. Anyway, yeah, so I'm enjoying this saga. It definitely is giving me a little bit more to appreciate about Zatanna. I feel like she's, except for a little bit of season 1, she's really not had much time to play. And a little bit in season 3 maybe. She had like 1-ish episode in season 3. So I really do enjoy, them expanding on the magics of this world, and Zatanna and Dr. Fate, and even these new Sentinel students. So anyway, with that all being said, everybody, thank you very much for joining me for this review of Young Justice Phantoms. If you can, please consider giving us a like and leaving a comment on your favorite part of this episode, or just your favorite part of Young Justice in general, or spam. Who knows? I'd also like to, if you can, or if you're willing, please subscribe to NerdTube. We are the greatest YouTube channel you maybe kind of sort of might have heard of at this point. It's still kind of iffy. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Catch you later.